Yes, hi. As you say, I'm Paul Scholes from Atria Associates, based in South London. Um, Sole practitioner, having been through 30, 40 years of various practices and lots of clients. And now sitting back a bit and taking stock of what's been going on.
We are a global network of accountants around the world. Our primary mission is to help accountants and a small number of business advisors help their client have a better life by creating and developing a better business. That's essentially what we do. So our goal really is to help accountants become more relevant insofar as they can and should be providing business advisory services.
I run Emmaus Bristol, which is part of an international network of organisations that help homeless people. But I'm a social entrepreneur. I set things up, and I was involved in setting up Emmaus Bristol along with 5 other charities, which help those who are most disadvantaged in society. So that's what I do.
I see technology in both business and in the professions as simply being a table stake. If you don't have it, you don't get to play in the game. If you do have it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be superior. But what I see is when I hear people like Paul, for example, saying that he has Skype on, he can see his client whether they are online, he's able to communicate with them either through chat or click a video button. That's how you use technology in a differentiating way. But you can't do that if you're trying to service 1,000 clients. If you've got a relatively small number of clients that you're providing that sort of service, you can engage them in conversation with technology today without asking them to leave their office to go and waste time on a commute, parking, and all the attendant costs associated with that. I think technology today and it's going to get better and better, is going to offer accountants and any business advisor for that matter. In fact, I should say accountants beware, because any business advisor will have access to exactly the same technology and can develop very strong relationships with their business clients. And if accountants don't embrace it themselves, I think they're going to find themselves out on a limb. But they have a fantastic franchise now to do that, because I've always believed that if you control or manage the general ledger, then you manage the general relationship with the client. And so it opens the door for some really wonderful opportunities to provide great value to the right type of clients. And that is something that the profession has not really had sitting at its doorstep for a long time. And lastly, if I could just say, Rachel, I think businesses need to realise this too. The way in which social media is being used for marketing purposes, for example, the trend towards mobile devices and real-time access to information, not just about finances, but about transactions and what's going on in the world, what your competitors are doing, and so on. It's upping the ante significantly, and I really do think that if accountants as business advisors don't see this and don't embrace it and don't make a point of learning about it and hiring younger people who can teach them how to utilize it in their practice, they're going to miss some amazing opportunities that are just going to be snapped up and run with by somebody else. They'll just outsource the accounting function to some guy who's sitting in a back room somewhere just slogging away wondering what happened.
The only people to make money out of technology are the ones that innovate, the ones right at the beginning. The first 10 minutes of a piece of innovation, the first few months, is where the money's made. Everything else after that is catch up and maybe trying to make best use of what you've got rather than dashing between one piece of software and another, is settling on something and making best use of it. And as we've said so many times, the biggest change recently is the ability to collaborate with clients and share with clients on cloud technology. But it also has the risk, as does the internet and social media in total, is that the clients are now far more educated My clients know a lot more about certain things than I do, and yet 10 years ago it was expected that I would know more than them about it. And this is certainly the case with the younger clients. And one of the upshots of that is that there is now there's a significant number of businesses who won't even think of employing an accountant. They will run their business by themselves, they will do their own books, they will submit those figures at the year end to HMRC and Companies House, and it's only when perhaps they grow or get into trouble that they might think of using an accountant. That's not to say that we can't be of value to them, but we need to connect with them, and the way to do it is via technology and making them realise that we're there technologically as much as they are. And as the compliance work drops away, we have to find ways to hook those clients and to make them realise that we're here. And social media is one way of doing that.
I think for most of us, what we need is time is short, because you're trying to run something, and emails, stuff going backwards and forwards via emails, it just takes forever, and you lose all that human contact where you could actually sit round and solve the problem in 10 minutes, whereas it takes 40 emails, people going back and forward trying to find more information. You can have a meeting, which is what we used to have around a table with a cup of coffee, even if your machine makes it for you. And actually, you can sort stuff out. And I think people who hide behind emails. Emails are not the panacea. It used to be a letter, and all that happened was the letter gets transferred to an email, so nobody's moved forward. Actually, we want quick decisions as a client. We've got a problem at the moment we've got a tax issue. How many emails have gone between our accountant and our auditors? Actually, it'd be easy just to sit around a table, and this will be an answer. Actually, use Google Plus. Or some other brand of, Facebook. I don't know. Technology's got to make things easier. It's got to create the response time, and that's what clients really want. They want a response time. They want a human being. They don't want a load of emails. Actually.
I think one of the things that is going to happen, and I don't know exactly how this will play out, but when I see the way in which the younger generation engage with each other, and particularly on something like Facebook, but also Twitter, but let's just say Facebook, I believe that in the not too distant future, when an accounting practice or any organisation for that matter hires a person, what they will actually be hiring is that person and that person's network, so that that person will come into the job, and it may, for example, be given a project to reconcile a bank statement or to do the work papers for a sophisticated consolidation. And I will bet that instead of wandering around the office asking somebody, can you help me with this, that person will probably tap into their social network and be saying, has anybody done something like this? Now, I find it very interesting that those accounting practices that are banning their clients from using tools like or resources like Facebook because they say they're wasting time may be shooting themselves in the foot, because I think the reality is you can't stop people doing what is natural to them. And we see what happens with prohibition and so on, with alcohol consumption and goodness knows what else. And I think that exactly the same thing could apply. So in very short order, I think we're going to see social media just integrating with everyday life and integrating into organisations in ways that we had never really thought before.
Yes, in a way. It's been too heavy too quickly. I was on Twitter from an early time, but I've avoided, like the plague, Facebook because of everything that goes with it. However, I've succumbed to Facebook, and I've even succumbed to LinkedIn, even though life has been pestered out of me with LinkedIn, mainly because it is just it is a network, and there's a name there. But I include my Skype as social media as well. There's a list of 40 or 50 people on there, some of whom I haven't spoken to or seen for a couple of years. They're ex-clients or ex-employees of clients. They know that I'm there, and at one time or one day somebody will come up with a question on tax or business, whatever. My picture and face will be at the side of their screen, and they might just send me a chat, and that's good enough for me. It's there if you need it, let's put it that way. And it's also great for information. Certainly Twitter is great for information gathering and thought gathering from other people who've got time to think. So yes, it's there. I think it's hyped, overhyped. And certainly my kids, who were all over Facebook when it came out, are now taking more of a back seat as they get older and realise that they have lives to lead, and that Facebook's not there to lead their lives. Facebook's there to help them with their relationships.